days since I made a new video, but I'm back again. I did not quite intend to have the pause, but got there one way, some way, somehow, right? Thing was, switched the app that I use to record the videos in an effort to record them at higher quality, to get me 4K instead of like the lower quality resolution I was getting. In doing that, the video started saving to a different place on my phone. Also, was keeping the videos on my phone because of laptop issues I had. When I started saving the videos to a different place, it then meant I also started using a little different tool to edit them. When I started editing them, I was making copies of something like, I won't say like without my, kind of like accidentally. Basically, I would edit it to cut down on the beginnings and endings. Apple would keep a second copy of this, keep the original copy as opposed to the edited one in case I wanted to revert back to the original, which meant that I was having two copies of videos, 4K files, very large files. Ended up running out of storage on my phone. Didn't have the computer, didn't have the old computer, didn't have a new one up and running or here. And so all those things came to a head. Had a phone, could not store the new videos to record new videos. And I could have just like deleted a bunch of old ones, but which that has been a question on my mind. Should I keep these old videos or just, once I put them up online, delete them from my own records? Like, I won't be needing to go back and have a copy of it, but right now, at the very least, I would rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. So I have been keeping a copy of all the videos. As to whether I will keep doing that, we'll see. But right now, that has been the case, and wanting to keep with that, need to get a computer, need to clear space off my phone. Did all of that, now I'm back to recording. So, long story short, sure, it looked like a hot mess, but the optimistic viewpoint is that a lot of learning happened, right? That I picked up on how I need to operate going forward and learn some things that did not work or worked in, when the SOPs were a little bit different, but now the SOPs are a little bit different. Some actions need to be updated. So glad to be learning that. Also recently got a bunch of sleep. Glad for that. But yeah, ups and downs overall. So in this video, I am going to try and go back and touch on the things that I would have released in the videos that I would have made until now. So I got 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to talk about. I did release what would have been out Thursday. I didn't even realize that the Wednesday upload messed up. But I have that video recorded, and again, that's on my computer, so I gotta get it from the computer to online as opposed to just from the phone to online. But like I said, gonna be making some changes with the workflow. Also, probably as I start some of these other channels, I probably will not continue to do every day. Or at the very least, it may be in a little bit different form or format. Then we can do the shorts on this channel. Then we'll just do the long videos on this channel. But yeah, we'll see. So Friday, in terms of fixing government, with the conversation I wanted to have there, it was actually probably going to start like a field report where it starts as a conversation I had with someone else, right? I'm talking to this woman, and the intro stuff I'll skip over, except for the part where it gets to, she's talking about Citizens United. It says that was one of the worst things that's happened to American democracy. since Citizens United, our institutions have been weaker and, when tested, have been found lacking, in that we gave billionaires unlimited access to the economy and have allowed for a corrupt system with that, and that the only way to fix it, quote unquote, would not be pretty, right? But that we have to do something about the billionaires and the undue influence that they have. And while I agree that Citizens United has had a large impact on the country, I certainly do not agree that the answer is to go after some people like that, right? For there to be a not pretty solution, right? Those like billionaires, the richest people in the US today were people that became billionaires within our lifetime. So that's not to say that there is no opportunity, that there is no way to get to the very top. And even within that whole like argument and premise, she still acknowledged people like the new mayor of New York, right? Zamdani. And brought up his charisma. And I'm like, hey, Trump has charisma too. Like, just because you don't like his policies doesn't mean he doesn't have charisma, right? And so there are factors that allow it to not just be an oligarchy for the very richest, but allow for people to have an influence, to have a vote, to have politicians that represent them and that can break the established order and rise to the top, whether it be via their charisma or popular support or whatever else. But this idea of just kill the billionaires, like, no, that's the same, this minority's hurting us, we need to get rid of them, like, division BS that's been peddled for so long. Like, how many times have we done that and it not worked? Haven't we learned better from that? I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I really don't. And the thing is, like, saying, oh, both parties get bought by the same people and so they're really not that different anymore. I'm like, then make a third party, right? Like, you're not just stuck though. It's not just this way. That's the big thing I feel about overalls. I feel like that sort of talk of like blaming these other people, we have to get rid of them. Like, what about the part that you play in it? What about you being able to convince people that your ideas are the best and like winning out because your ideas are better and people support them more? What about that? But instead, we're supposed to like give up on that and pretend that that doesn't exist. You're sitting here blaming people that they're too emotional where you're rational. And if people were actually rational, they would agree with you, but they let their emotions get in the way. It's like, no, this is a democracy. Like, the best ideas win as chosen by the people, and people have chosen not to do your shit. So you can blame them for it, or you can blame yourself. But blame the billionaires and like go after them? No, that's stupid. It's childish. It's immature. It's dangerous. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I really, really don't. I really don't. I don't even know that I want to say a whole lot more on that and improving government. Just that I think something is needed to change the status quo, right? To affect the playing field. But I don't think a revolution is needed like that. I think you need a certain number of politicians who are willing to be independent, right? So that it's not just a strict majority along party lines, but you have to have the people represented by one party or another and the middle ground that comes along with them. I think until there is a sizable portion of people who are independent and not just voting Democrat or Republican, I think that will force more of a movement towards the middle, more cooperation. I think that will be a big change in the political landscape and shift the balance of power. So I don't think it takes a revolution like that. I'm very convinced of that. And if I did, or if I did feel like it took like being a billionaire to fix the system, then I would do that. I would just give up and say like, go after people. Like, do what it takes, do what it takes. If you're not going to, just say that. But don't sit here blaming others, So yeah, that's that. The Saturday video that I was going to make was going to talk about. I'm just looking at the time here. Saturday video I was going to make was going to talk about when I was out, right? How one of the days I was out last week saw a very clear example of what I felt like was facial armoring, where, and this was when I'm talking to this woman, and it was like she was so nervous and anxious that it looked like her face was like particularly stiff. It looked like she was like scared and afraid and trying to like manage how she would come across, to the point where all of the ways she expressed herself seemed not as genuine. And there were degrees, so that like as she got more comfortable around people, I feel like the extent to which the face was stiff and like stiff, like as she became more comfortable, as she became more expressive. So that was good to see, and shows that hey, we're on the spectrum. But also it was kind of like, dang, this is really like a mask that you're wearing. And what it made me think was just like, I'm doing that too and have been doing it too. Like, it didn't make me think like, oh man, she does that and I don't. It made me think like, I definitely do this and probably just don't realize the extent to which I do it, or to which some people can see it, or to which it used to be there. Because like, I'm sure in her case, like there's probably things that she's done to improve and times where it's been worse. And so I'm sure other people can look at it and see it on me as well. So it just kind of showed me like there's levels to this. There's a lot of work. I'm sure I still have room to grow as well, but it's just gonna take more time, and I accept that. Like, if I knew of a quick snap my fingers fix, then I would have already done it. But doing the best I can, and gotta be satisfied with the progress I'm making. Of course, trying to change things to do a little bit better, but accepting and continue to push the boundaries. So I'm pleased about that. Pleased I have like grown and do have an awareness now that I did not before. But yeah, I don't want to be like that, where I'm wearing the mask and have my reactions stunted to that degree. Because I also feel like it impacted like her cognition. I feel like she was like thinking about the being scared or nervous or fitting in or being liked, to the point where it like took up mental bandwidth that caused her to not be as free flowing or open or quick in other areas, and I feel like it showed again. So like this, the social stuff is big, yo. It is big. Uh, but yeah, like I said, still have areas where I'm gonna have to keep working at it myself. That was the reminder that came up. It was like I'm still going through this myself in some way somehow. So don't don't look down on her. Don't feel too bad about it myself, but just recognize like I'm doing it too to some extent. So I'm gonna keep working to do it less. I am gonna keep working to do it less. Then, for the video that I would have put out and recorded Sunday, that one was also a reflection of a day earlier in the week where I was out and it was the day during bar games, right? We had our normal bar games, but then there was another event taking place in the same venue, Virginia Tech like reunion. So a lot more crowded than normal, right? We still have our bit of space in the back, although even that is being like impeded on by some of the other guests. We start to set up, but the other guests are like using some of the space as well, so we can't play all of our normal games. We can only play 4 of our normal games, and then we have to adjust, either end at 4 games instead of the 5 that we normally play, or if we could do a substitute game or something for the 5th game, then maybe that's an option. The host ends up saying, I have a different game that we can play for the last game. We go around, play the other 4 games that we normally do. Then we ask about this mystery last game. Turns out that the mystery last game is going to be Uno. That our host had brought her deck of Uno cards and let us borrow the cards to play the game of Uno. Right? As we come over and are waiting to start to play the game of Uno, right? Another team or a couple teams are ahead of us playing each other. The host also asks, kind of out loud, wondering what I should eat tonight. I have food at home, but I don't quite feel like going home and cooking that food. I kind of want something else, so I feel like I should get something to eat. She announces this, and then some of the people that are, particularly ones that are a little bit closer to her, start talking to her, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, what do you have a taste for? And she's like scanning through her little DoorDash app, looking at places to get food. I end up suggesting something, but I don't know if the host doesn't hear or ignore, but like in between me and the host is a different woman. The other woman kind of picks up on it and is like, I end up suggesting Shake Shack. The woman's like, oh, she said that she was thinking about like Asian or something like that, not Shake Shack. And I was like, oh, okay. But in my mind, I was like, come on now. She asking everyone, what should I eat? Like, nah, it wasn't that like, oh, like to me, she was asking that question out loud to say like, I wish someone would come eat with me somewhere. That was the thought I had in my mind. Like, that's why you're announcing that you're hungry and want to get something to eat, because you don't want to eat alone, right? That was the thought in my mind. And so for the girl to be so focused on like what the actual food was, I was like, you're missing the larger point, right? Anyways, also what occurred to me was like the game Uno itself some point in the past, I don't remember when, but at some point in the past, I remember having a conversation with someone there at the bar games, and the question was, is there any game that's not part of bar games that you wish was? I asked this to the other person. I don't remember what the other person said, but I said, I kind of wish Uno wasn't part of the bar games because I feel like that's a game where people have to agree on the rules, right? Everyone plays a little bit differently, so people have to agree on the rules. You can get like, you can kind of target people to make them have like the plus twos, plus fours. I feel like that tests like for people's bitterness, how they respond to someone seemingly picking on them or coming after them. Um, and you get to see like how people react, as winners or losers and that sort of thing. So fast forward now several weeks later, or months later, or whatever, the host has a deck of Uno cards that she's letting us borrow to play these games. And I didn't even realize it at the time. Like, I remembered having that conversation with someone, but I didn't remember who I had it with. So I didn't remember if it was the host or some other woman or what. But it becomes, yes. Then later on, like, just towards the end of the night, we're the last team that played the Uno game. So the host is waiting for us to finish before she can leave. They start asking her about like how she had the Uno cards. She was like, "Oh yeah, I brought them in my book bag. I carried them with me." And she's like, something. Yeah, before I would give a guy my number, he would have to beat me in Uno. And then they start being like, "Oh, so where do you carry your Uno cards to? Did you meet it at the club?" And blah 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 blah. But basically, the short version of the story is, or like the gist of it is, I think this one will remember the conversation that I had where I said Uno and seeing how someone plays Uno as a way of getting a better sense of their character before, dating them or being their friend or whatever, right? And then went out and bought a deck of Uno cards, or maybe had a deck of Uno cards and decided to start carrying it around with her. And then was doing this secretly, like unbeknownst to me, until it came up in a situation one day where we need the Uno cards for our games, and then she had to like bust it out and be like, "Oh yeah, actually, followed up on the conversation and started carrying around my deck." So I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, that's like very very sweet that I would mention something and it would have this effect to where this woman's like, I need to start doing that. Also, that she then brought it up, in a context where I could see it again. So it was a thing, and kind of hinted at wanting to get some food to eat and playing Uno with someone, before going on a date with them, and before exchanging numbers. Like, part of me is like, that's sweet of her to like have thought and remembered, and it impacted her, and for this time later for me to find out. And she's like an attractive enough young woman for sure. But also, the negative news Nancy or Nathan that I'm about to be is to point out like the part that I didn't like. Before, like, I would have to beat me in Uno before I would give him my number. Like, bro, why would I need to be working to earn your number? Like honestly, like I'm just like, that doesn't, to me, it's not trying to put like the relationship on an equal footing. It's trying to put it on the footing of like, You as a dude are gonna be chasing me and trying to earn my respect, my time, my energy, my focus. For me, it's like, where's the win-win? I'm working to earn this from you because what? Like, yeah, your time, your energy, your focus is not more valuable than mine. Like both our times, my time and your time are valuable. Like you wanted to give your number away is valuable and guarded, and me wanting to give mine away is valuable and guarded. And so it, I just, I I get it, but I'm like, why would I want that? That's just what I think is why would I want that? Why would I want to walk into a relationship where it's I'm putting myself down in that way? It's where I'm having to earn your number, but you're not having to earn mine, right? Where I'm having to do stuff to earn the date with you, but you're not having to do anything to earn the date with me. Like, I get it, I guess. That's where the common, like, whatever is, but that's not me. And I think if you want something better than was commonly out there, you're gonna have to accept that. Like, you're gonna have to operate in a different way. Like, you can choose the common route and go find a dude to ask you out with. To that's gonna jump through the hoops to earn your number to ask you out. Like, you can do that, and you can do it without me. But at the same time, that dude isn't the one that's gonna leave you with the memorable stuff where you're going out and buying cards that you're now carrying around in your purse for weeks and months later. Cause like that normal shit's boring. The idea that a relationship is gonna be me chasing after you, me doing this for you, like that shit's boring. It's boring for me, and it's boring for you too. If you don't think it's boring for you, then go after it and good luck with it. And I wish you the best. But the same reason I was memorable is the same reason I will not be partaking in that bullshit. Like, miss me with it. Honestly, miss me with it. Like, it's just I just don't think that is fair. And like I don't understand. Like on one hand, I'm like, it's very sweet. You're showing that you care and that you remember. And on the other hand, I'm like, but why are you asking me to do something that's not in my interest? That's making myself small. That's putting me down for the sake of you. Then like I don't even know you like that, and you claim to like me, but you're asking me to do something that wouldn't be liking me. It would be showing that I don't like myself. That I like you more than I like myself, which I don't like you like that, and I shouldn't. So, just what sort of, what are you asking? Like, what are you on about? Like I said, just a bunch of stuff that I didn't like. Again, and it was a nice gesture. It's just the way it was presented, and I felt like it was like a false bravado to like protect her own feelings. Like, oh, if you're asking me out, then I'm not going to be the one rejected by asking you out. And oh, I'm going to ask about what food should I get, because if I do that, then it saves me the rejection of saying, hey, would you like to get some food with me after this? And like I get it because I've had the fears, and they still show up here and there in all different manner of places for sure. So like I get it, but being on the other side is like, why wouldn't you just be direct and what you wanted. If you would have asked about us going out, like, we could have done it. If you'd asked about us getting food, we could have done it. If you'd asked about us playing Uno, we could have done it. But, like, I'm not going to ask you, you're going to ask the group. You don't need me for that. And that's what it is. So, covered everything I wanted to in the other videos. Friday, like, let's not kill billionaires. Let's not pick on a minority group and target them and kill them and say they've been ruining our society. Saturday, the facial armoring, like, seeing it in her made me recognize and appreciate that I'm sure it's in me, and I just show it more or less sometimes or others, but like it's still there, so still gotta keep working to try and integrate all my different parts so that I'm not being fake and I can be comfortable and be expressive and open and have the real me come across, that I'm not like filtering it out before it ever gets the chance to show up. And then I'm showing her interest, but also showing it in a way that I felt like revealed to me not ready for a relationship. And although it's a nice woman, although it was a sweet gesture, how the offer, how it's presented matters. And if it's not right, I'm not gonna be taking it on. So with that, I wish you all well. Like I said, won't be recording every day forever as I shift to some new priorities that will affect my schedule, but glad to have this video back out there, and wish you well. Hope you take care.